Are you one of those people who wonders why on earth so many wines are so expensive? Well, today I'm going to tell you something that might just change your mind. We're going to look at an expensive wine, which is ice wine. And before you say, absolutely not, I would never spend $100 on a bottle of wine, hold on and let me tell you a story. Picture this. You have a farmer in a country, say like Canada, and that farmer is supporting his entire family with his livelihood, which is winemaking and grape growing. And now this farmer, when it comes to be harvest time for his grapes, and it's, let's say, the end of September or October, he has all of his grapes out there, and he knows he could just harvest all of them right now, make perfectly delicious wine, and charge normal prices for that bottle of wine. Maybe he's going to charge $15 or $20 for those bottles of wine. Why wouldn't he just go ahead and do that? Well, if you're a winemaker, you might be the type of person who sometimes likes to go for the gold. You like to really produce something that is excellent, that's exquisite, that is rare and fine. And so this winemaker, from time to time, he might consult his farmer's almanac, or he might take a look at the predictions for weather that year and say, you know what, this year I'm gonna go for the gold. I am going to try and make one of the world's rarest wines, which is ice wine. So at this point, he has decided to accept another 3 months of fretting over what will happen to those grapes. Will I be able to produce the ice wine? And it's really a struggle. He's going to face so many possibilities for failure over the course of that time. And every day he's waking up knowing that it's totally out of his control, that he's reliant on the weather. And I don't know about you, but for me, the thought of that and supporting my whole family based on that is kind of terrifying. Through the course of these 3 months, he's going to hope that the birds don't come and eat all the fruit, eat all the harvest, especially as those grapes get sweeter and sweeter. He's going to hope that rot doesn't completely take over the grapes and render them unusable for a fine, delicious dessert wine. And every day he's going to wake up thinking, I hope the frost has come. I hope the frost has come. I hope it's gone below 20 degrees Fahrenheit in hopes that those grapes can freeze, especially that all the water in the grapes will freeze, and that they won't freeze too hard. Because if they become too hard, there are problems with that too. Imagine that. You've got to get frozen grapes, but just the right amount of frozen. Now, let's say that day has come and all of those past failures, all those past hurdles have been overcome. Now the day comes when he wakes up and he sees that those grapes are frozen. They are beautiful, gorgeous, frozen, icicled grapes. And now he rushes out and harvests them all as fast as possible, and then he goes to stick them in the press. And at this point, he is praying that they are not too frozen, because remember I mentioned before, you want just the right amount of frozen. If you get grapes that are frozen too hard, they're actually too hard for the grape press to be able to press out the juice, and you might risk breaking your entire grape press. After all of that, the farmer only has, as little as 5 to 10% as much of the wine as he would have had otherwise had he harvested back in September. What he's in for is really only what can be described as pure grape essence, because now the water from the grapes has frozen solid and you're left with all the sweet, sugary, delicious, complex flavors that come from grapes that have spent that much time on the vine. And this is one of the most incredible things that an ice wine has to offer, is that not only is it sweet, which yes, that's delicious, but you can find a lot of sweet wines out there, but this is a sweet wine that has so much complexity to it, and it isn't syrupy like a maple syrup or something like that that's cloying, but it's actually really refreshing because it maintains a lot of what we call in the wine industry acidity. Is ice wine worth $50, $100 a bottle? I would love to know from you. Cheers! Let me know in the comments below.